Rev Myron here. Welcome to A Course in Miracles, Lesson 238. On my decision, all salvation rests. Father, your trust in me has been so great, I must be worthy. You created me and know me as I am. And yet you placed your son's salvation in my hands and let it rest on my decision. I must be beloved of you indeed. And I must be steadfast in holiness as well, that you would give your son to me in certainty that he is safe, who still is part of you and yet is mine, because he is myself. And so again today we pause to think how much our Father loves us and how dear his son, created by his love, remains to him, whose love is made complete in him. I often doubt myself, and I suppose that is a natural effect of believing in the story of separation and believing I'm part of that story. But that's okay. God knows who I am and what I am capable of. His faith in me never wavers, and that is what I lean into when I doubt. This morning on Facebook, I read a quote from David Hawkins. He was describing his experience of awakening. Here's part of what he said. Initially, the awakening into a whole new realm is overwhelming. What is left of the former self is stunned by the massive revelation and the magnificence of the condition. Everything is brilliantly alive, and all is one and startlingly, massively divine. There is, however, also an infinite stillness and peace, a profound sense of having at last returned to one's real home. No fear is possible. What one really is beyond all form and always was beyond all time and space. These realities are self-evident. All thoughts of ideas and mentations stop, and the stillness is everywhere present, all pervading. Well, this is what I want. It's the reason I study and practice what Jesus shares with us through A Course in Miracles. I understand now that I'm not striving to become something new, but rather I'm removing the blocks to the remembrance of what I am. And so every day I pay attention to my thoughts and feelings. When I notice fear, I return to love. I used to struggle with this, but lately it's become easy. Occasionally I feel frustration creeping in, but then I realize that it is just fear. So I choose love instead. If I'm in fear, I love myself anyway, and then there is no fear. One day I'll stop choosing fear. I know this is true, not because I have faith in this little personal self of Myron, but because God has faith in me. At first, it seemed to be hard to let go of the only reality I remembered. When I was asked to forgive what seemed real, I couldn't see how to do that. I wasn't even sure I should. It felt like I would be left defenseless in a dangerous world. Jesus understands this and offers reassurance, but it was like he was asking me to step off a cliff and trust I would survive. But it's Jesus. And even when it makes no sense to me, I don't argue with him. The question then became, how can I help myself and my brothers to awaken? I know how I fail to help. It is when I judge and hold grievances. I also know how to succeed. When I withdraw what I have projected onto others, look with the Holy Spirit at those projections and let them be corrected. In doing so, I help all aspects of the sonship. So I do that. I choose one person whom I strongly disliked and judged harshly. I worked on withdrawing those projections and seeing them in my own mind. Then I let them go. It was slow going at first. I would defend my judgments, then defend my right to judge. I would count the ways I was right in order to justify my hatred. But I knew I was wrong in all that, and so I kept practicing forgiveness with this person. One day, the miracle occurred. I no longer judged him. In the place of judgment, there was love. I was shocked at first, but nothing diminished the love I felt. He continued to behave as he always had, doing what he always did. I was still aware of his unkind acts and harsh words, but it changed nothing. I didn't love him because I found a way to justify his story or suddenly agree with his actions. I just loved him. That love has never faded. The love I feel for him is a love that I am, beneath all the human attributes we labor under. When those attributes are forgiven, love is what remains. This is how I help him. My love supports his journey toward awakening, and at the same time, it supports mine and ours. Another gift from this shift to love is that it has affected all my relationships. I didn't have anyone else in my life that I was so negatively triggered by, but the love I felt for him became the love I began to feel for others. This is as close as I can come to putting the experience into words. People I once liked have now become precious to me. The desire to judge anyone is slowly fading away. When it occurs now, I'm quicker to choose again and have less desire to defend my judgments. Jesus often uses light and darkness as metaphors for the healing of our minds. Ego thoughts are seen to darken the mind, and healing is the light that banishes the darkness. When I decided to love instead of hate, my mind became lighter, and that light continues to grow brighter. Since I do not have a mind separate from yours, there's now more light in the one mind we share. This is how we help each other awaken. My gratitude for each of us for doing the best we can is immense. And I must be steadfast in my holiness as well, that you would give your son to me in certainty that he is safe, who is part of you and yet is mine, because he is myself. God gave me his son to keep safe within my mind. What hubris it was that I thought to judge him who is part of God. How foolish to judge him who is myself. It is my joy to remain steadfast in holiness, and in every moment I choose again judgment or love, fear or holiness. Each choice for love strengthens the light we all share. My decision truly matters, for in it rests not just my salvation, but the remembrance of God for us all. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'll be back soon. See you then.